Hey, what's up guys? My name is Moda and welcome back to the Mining Stacker YouTube channel. So today's video going to be talking about some of these hash rate increases with Kadena and with CKB. So as we've seen, some of these started getting delivered as of last week. So we're going to take a look at the numbers and not looking too great, but going to go over those real quick, see how many have came on the network, what it's looking like, and how it's affecting profits already, right? So I'm going to go over that. I'm going to pull up my KD light so we can start seeing real-time numbers, not just theoretical, as far as how much it's been going down already, right? So if that sounds interesting, guys, stay tuned, all right? So let's get to it. So first off, yet another nice little bitmain release we had the other day. I think it was just yesterday morning. As we predicted, as we all knew it was going to happen. So this time, broke a record. So this time was 14 seconds, right? All these little BS numbers that they're giving out, these 23, 30 seconds, whatever, we know they're going real quick. Realistically, don't really have a chance. If you happen to be by a computer and you're interested, it's worth a shot, right? But they did do this restock. It was a spot sale. You were able to buy. We already knew it was going to be even more limited than usual because the limit was actually at 5, right? Some of the previous ones it's been at 50, but the fact that they already mentioned that it was only going to be 5 already gave us the insight that it was going to be extremely limited as far as how many were going to be available, right? The other thing to take note was the MSRP increase. So now it's at 6,300 a unit, right? But at least there's not a different variation like with what they did with the K7, where now there's a 63.5 terahash and now a 58 terahash model, right? So at least we know it's the same thing, but that does mean it's yet another batch, right? So something to keep in mind. One tidbit of news that did come out in this tweet though is on the side. So they're saying more popular Antminer will be on sale soon, so stay tuned. So possibly more restocks, possibly another K7 restock or HS3, or maybe that E9 Pro. So it looks like there are going to be more restocks coming, guys. So probably in these next few days for like Valentine's Day or whatever, that'll probably be their gimmick. So just keep that in mind. So yes, this one did go fast, but again, if you're available and you're interested in it, it's worth a shot anyway, right? Because I'm sure a lot of people are getting discouraged. Maybe less people will be trying, right? So keep that in mind. One other thing to take note with these restocks is that the price is going to probably start coming down also, right? So did a video a few days ago regarding how all the vendors were at 13K. Well, looking today, 10,990, right? Why? Probably has to do with these restocks. We know that there's more coming on the network. And also the other thing we have been talking about for months now is the fact that as these guys start coming online, that profitability number is going to go down, meaning the prices are also going to go down, right? Especially right now, because we've been having this negative price action lately, right? We just had a significant downtrend. So that's also contributing. But again, as people see that value on like ASIC miner value go down, there will be less interest, right? Again, those $13,000, $14,000 numbers are based on the metric that it'll make $50 a day. But again, as we've been telling you guys, hopefully you guys have been watching the channel, watching any of those KDA reviews, we knew this was going to happen, right? This is not surprising to us. We did the math. We knew it was coming. And so far, here it is. It's starting to come into effect. So far, though, keep in mind that it seems like it's been pretty limited on who's been receiving them, right? There's been, as of last week, last Friday, I know a lot of people who were at the WDMS, they got theirs in, and also people who ordered directly from bitmain, right? So we knew a max amount for those WDMS guys was going to be 600 because I think it was limited to the first 200 people, and there was a max of like 3 per person, right? But a lot of people still have not gotten shipment notices for theirs who purchased from another vendor, right? Probably in the next week or so, we're going to start seeing more news there. Like I ordered mine back in September prior to like a day before the actual bitmain release. And so far from BT miners, we've got nothing, right? So, and I know that's the case for a lot of other stores. They still haven't got any shipping notices. So they're slowly coming out, but it's not in full force. But already though, just these past couple of days, we can see how much it's increased, right? The last time I did a little update, we're about 210 petahash. As of today, as of right now, this is Friday, February 10th, about 6 o'clock, we're already at 265 petahash. Okay, so it's about a 25% increase in just a matter of days, right? And it's just going to continue. Again, this is not that many units already, and it's already increased that much. But as these more shipments come in, which is probably going to be spread out over the next month, and then even longer, because again, we have the second shipment of those KA3s, which aren't going to ship until sometime in March. So realistically, the dust won't really settle until probably closer to like the end of March, early April. By then, we should have a definitive amount to the hash rate, right? How many were actually shipped. Okay, and that doesn't mean that that's going to be the only batch, right? I highly doubt that it's going to be one batch and they're never going to make them again. Okay, there might be a cool-off period, right? Especially if we don't have any good like price action, things stay flat, because it's not going to be very appealing, right? If this thing was going from making 40, 50 bucks a day down to making like $8 a day, it's not going to be the most appealing thing in the world. Most likely what will happen is, if they don't release any more in the near term, is that they're going to wait until we do get some more positive price action and then redump them again, right? So whether it's this summer, this fall, or maybe not even until closer to the halving, we don't know. But I guarantee you they're going to keep coming out, right? But again, I don't think it's going to be to the point where as of in 2 months from now, there's going to be 10,000 of them on the network either, because at that point, it's not even going to be profitable, okay? So I don't think that's going to happen either. But like we've mentioned in the past, most likely it's going to be just the right amount to make sure that nobody else can compete on the network, at least for now. Okay, that doesn't mean that everything's going to be obsolete forever. Even if it's not profitable now, it may be profitable once we get more price action with KDA. Right? So again, so like even my personal plan, those of you guys have been watching, I do have a KD Lite, but as soon as that thing is unprofitable, it's going to get unplugged. Right? And it's just going to hang on to it, wait for when it is profitable, and plug it back in. Right? Whether it's a few months from now, or if it's not till like a year and a half from now. That's just what it's going to be, right? Because I'm not going to mine at a loss. I'd rather just use the money I was going to pay towards electrical and just buy the coin direct, right? I'm going to get more KDA that way. Okay, that's a big topic of debate that's super criticized either way. But again, my viewpoint, get as much KDA as possible. Even if it means unplugging mine and buying direct, I have no problem with that. Hopefully, best case scenario, we do get a lot of price action in the bull market. And again, even if it's only making 1 KDA a day at that point, if KDA is worth 12 bucks, I'm good with that, right? But again, I'm not going to mind if it's not profitable. That's just my personal belief, my personal viewpoint. Do I think the KA3 is going to get to the point where it's not profitable? No. I think it's going to continue to be profitable even if we do get dumped on with a lot of units. It's not going to be making the 50 bucks as it was stating on like ASIC miner value, but we all knew that, right? My goal, as long as it's profitable during this time, it's going to be plugged in. It's going to be doing its thing. And that's pretty much what I was expecting. Okay, so keep that in mind. So again, about 25% increase, and keep in mind that the majority of them still have not shipped yet. This is still going to go up quite significantly. So now let's look at my earnings, right? So far, I already have felt the effects. Pretty much been consistently at between 4.1, 4.2 KDA a day for months now. It's been months and months and months where it's been at that point. And finally, this past week has just gradually been going down. So 3.84, 3.9, 3.87, 3.79, 3.76, 3.65, 3.59, 3.2, and so on and so forth. And it's just going to continue to go down, right? Most likely this will be the trend over, again, like the next 2 months, right? Especially as these units trickle out. It's just going to continue to go down, all right? But that's the name of the game. Pretty much on you that was going to happen. And we'll just see how long I can go until it's no longer profitable, right? If it's just about profitable, it'll probably stay on maybe in that low power mode where it's slightly more efficient. Again, I'm going to have to just wait until the dust settles. But if it's like to the point where I'm definitely going to earn more KDA by just purchasing it, then I'm going to do that, right? Because that's my mentality with this miner. Any other miners, I'm going to just buy it direct, right? If I'm going to get more yield that way, instead of paying 150 bucks in electrical and only earning 120 KDA, going to put that 150 bucks and earn, 160 KDA or whatever the price point is at that point. If it makes more sense to do that, that's what I'll be doing. Okay? I already know what I got myself into. I already knew what was going to happen. That's my game plan. Right? So again, you got to start thinking about these things, especially with you guys with like KD box 2s and things like that. Pretty soon here, they're most likely going to become unprofitable. You have to start thinking of what your game plan is, right? Because it all just depends, right? A lot of it's dependent on the current price action. Okay, we've been having all this FUD right now going on, and that's what's keeping the price down. But who's to say in 2 months we get more positive price action and it doubles, then it's more profitable. So if you see that coming anyway, then it might make more sense just to stay plugged in, right? But if you think we're going to go sideways or lower, then you might be better off just buying the coin for now. Okay, which is my plan. Okay, everybody, again, this is a big thing where you got to make up your own plan, make up your own decisions. This is why I have a big thing about looking at worst case scenarios. That way you already know what to do. That way you're not in the conundrum of, oh man, what should I do this? Should I do that? No, have your game plan already set up, right? So just keep that in mind. So I'll be doing these updates as time goes on, especially when there's more significant drops. Or at least once I get like my unit in, or we get more confirmation of a lot of people getting their units in. I know for the most part it's been pretty sparse. A few people have been getting theirs. So we'll see. We'll keep you guys updated on that end. So let's look at the overall stats, which is a lot of people have been talking about this website, mindtheasic.com. Right now it's pretty inaccurate. I mean, I don't know who runs the website or who's doing it, but like for example with KDA, even at 10 cent a kilowatt hour, they're saying you're gonna only yield about 21 a day, which is incorrect though, because just basing it off of what I'm earning, you can pretty much 10x it, right? This is pretty much 10 times a KD Lite. KD Lite is 16.2 terahash. This guy's 166, so it's literally almost a 10x. So if I'm getting 3.2, you could 10x that, you're going to get 32, right? So this right off the bat is incorrect. So again, that's why it's always good for you to do your own calculations so you can double check, not rely on a lot of these websites. Like we know ASIC miner value's been having issues. A lot of people have been talking about this one. Right now, this one ain't looking too great. So just something to keep in mind, right? One of the better tools, I use that CryptoCalc website. Another one is you can go right to the pools also, right? So for example, for DX pool, go right to the coin. If they have that coin, click on the side and you can actually, they have a little calculator where you can see, you put in your terahash, which for this guy is going to be 166, and your yield is about 34.9, right? Which is about $36 in USD value. Which at that point, we know for the most part is pretty close. It's within 10% accuracy because again, it would be 32 if you 10x what I'm getting. So that's definitely a lot closer than the value you're getting here. Okay, so I know a lot of people like using these websites because it's easier, but just keep that into consideration that it may not be accurate, especially if you're considering purchasing it. Okay, you want to like double check these numbers and verify for yourself. Okay, that way you can make a more informed decision as to what you're getting. A lot of people are seeing this already, like, oh man, it's not that low. It's going to go lower than this. Just saying for now, this is what it is, but something to keep in mind. So now, right, based off of, this is kind of the cool thing with crypto, is based off of the hash rate, we can see about how many units it took to do this, right? So we can guesstimate. So if it's about, so we're about at 210, right? We're about at 265 petahash. So I was messing around with the numbers and give or take, it's going to be about 300 units, right? So we'll put up a little calculator. Easiest way to calculate it, we know that each unit is 166 terahash, right? So we can just ballpark it. We can go times 300, which if you times it by 3, it's about 48. So we know that's close to the 50 petahash. But I'm just going to do it this way so you can get an idea how to calculate these numbers, right? So 166, we're going to estimate that only 300 units came on, right? So that gives us the, too many times. Let's redo that. So 166 times 300 gives us a total of 49,800 terahash, right? So I have this little calculator, which again just divides it by 1,000. That's all this thing's doing, okay? So we have 49,800 terahash, which gives us about 50 petahash. which is about what the current difference is right now, right? So about 210 is what we're saying, and 265. So it's about 55, so it's a little bit more. So again, we're just ballparking. But so just to give you the idea of how many units it took to move up the hash rate that much, it was only 300 units. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's probably going to be more significant because there's going to be most likely a lot more units coming here in the near term. Okay, so again, only 300 units caused this whole thing. Okay, again, it's just because this thing is so powerful. Again, I use the comparison with my KD Lite. My KD Lite, it's literally 1 KA3 is 10 KD Lites. Okay, or for those of you who bought those KD Box 2s, 1 KA3 is about 33 of those things. Okay, and this is the thing, is that it doesn't take many units to cause this. And this is why I've been harping on that so much, is that if you're thinking about purchasing any of these things, you have to keep this into consideration. Okay, so again, this is just the beginning. We're going to see more significant increases, and we'll see how it goes, right? So hopefully, maybe it's only 1,000 units instead of the 2,000, 2,500 we were predicting. Who knows? Time will tell. We'll find out in about, again, within a month and a half, 2 months, we'll definitely know where we're at, right? So now let's look at CKB. Let's look at their hash rate. So far, actually, a lot of these have been in hand already. Have seen a lot more videos, a lot more people with these in hand. I know I got my shipping notice already, which is probably going to be another week and a half or something till I get mine. But mine has shipped. I know a lot of other people's has shipped also. And so far, theirs hasn't increased as much, right? In the past week, we did have this little bump down over here early January, but that's from the price action. Nervous has actually been doing pretty good past 30 days. So I think that's where a lot of that was, where a lot of people was, CK5, CK6s weren't profitable at one point. They turned those guys back on because a lot of them even right now are still profitable, depending on your electric. But ultimately, these last few days, it's been about a 10% increase so far, right? So definitely not as significant, definitely not as many units out. Again, we won't have a better idea until later because, again, they did have that restock. They had that one deal where if you buy X amount of S19 Pro Pluses, you can get that one. So they had that deal. And then like a week or two later, they did have another full restock. And we do know that there are those two variations. There's that 58 terahash and that 63.5. So again, it's only about a 10% increase now, but we know more are coming. But again, we don't know how many, right? This one so far isn't as popular as Kadena. So maybe they don't release as many, but again, realistically, we have no idea on how much, right? We do know that they are going to release a bunch. The hash rate is going to go up. Profitability is going to go down. But to what extent, we don't really know yet. And one big difference is that CKB overall has been doing better than Kadena, right, as far as price action goes. Okay, so keep that into consideration. Also keep into mind that Nervos does have a halving this year that's coming in November. So just if you're thinking about getting one, you got to put these thoughts in your head, right? That there is still going to be more things coming up, right? So when we look at profitability, so same thing, using mine the ASIC. It's also, it doesn't seem like it's too accurate either, because this one, one thing I do like about this, comparing it to like ASIC miner value though, is that it does give you an actual amount of CKB you're going to yield a day, theoretically. So this I don't think is correct though. Again, kind of the same thing that we had with the other issue. Reason being is that if we go on DX pool, which theirs tends to be closer to it, right? And in reality, because it's a higher yield coin, you get a lot of coins, there's going to be more variations. Because again, even like a 10% difference is like 1,000 coins, right? So when we plug this number in, the 63,500, because it goes in terms of gigahash, right? So again, we just times it by 1,000. According to theirs, we would yield about 10,244, which is a little on the high end because I also did it on AMP pool just to like double check. And according to theirs, it would be like 8,200. So give or take, it should be somewhere in that range, somewhere between 8 to 10,000, maybe 9,000. Again, there's a lot of different scenarios, but it's higher than what's rated on here. So I can't really confirm either though, because I don't have a unit in hand, or I don't have another CKB miner that I can compare it to like I do with Kadena. But just keep that into consideration, right? So far, again, though, Nervous hasn't gone up as much. Again, we'll see in the next month or two. Again, I'm predicting like late March, early April. Whoever bought theirs should have theirs, and they should be plugged in. They should be settled, right? Because a lot of people got theirs, and maybe they don't have the infrastructure set up yet, or they have other sectors, or a lot of people, again, are also flipping them, right? So even though people got theirs now, maybe they're only keeping one, they're flipping the others. So it's like another week or two for them to get theirs, for them to plug in, etc., etc. So overall, by the time everybody gets theirs, probably around that time frame, and then we'll have a better idea what we're actually going to be making, right? But again, when you're doing your calculations, you're looking at things, focus on the yield. Focus on how much you're actually getting versus the fiat value, right? Because again, next month, CKB can have a 3x, and then that's totally going to change it, right? You want to look at how much CKB you're yielding and then go from there, right? Because then at that point, you can project that, okay, I'm earning at this rate, even right now at this horrible rate, I'm profitable still, but I'm predicting that, a year and a half, 2 years from now, it may be this much and it could turn into this amount. Okay, the big thing, like for me, my goal is just for them to be profitable. As long as they're profitable, I'm good with it, right? I know what I'm getting into. Knew that risk, took that plunge, and we'll see. So again, guys, overall, everything is going as we planned, right? It's going as we predicted. A lot of these things are coming out. I know it kind of sucks to see your profits and stuff going down, but again, hopefully you took those videos I did into account, and now you can actually really, really see what I was talking about, right? So hopefully you kind of understand more, you kind of see more, and for those of you who are waiting, if you haven't bought one yet, again, like I've mentioned in the past, it's all your decision, not financial advice, totally up to you, but it's probably going to be your best interest to wait, as these prices will probably go down, because again, the profitability every day is pretty much going to go down slightly. Again, by the time April hits, we'll have a better idea, and we'll go from there. But again, on the flip side, if the price goes up, then the price of these guys are going to go up. Okay? But again, like for me personally, I'm waiting for it to go down, and maybe I'll look at one of these like IB links, that BMK3. That low power efficiency mode has me interested, especially if I do get a price deduction on that because of this. Something I would look into, but again, it wouldn't be until like April till we see the dust settle, because at that point, by the time April hits, it may not even be profitable if we continue with the sideways action. Okay, but for me, I already have a KA3, so I'm taking that gamble, right? And I bought mine at a price I was comfortable with. Again, I would not, just like I mentioned in the other video, I would not recommend buying these crazy inflated prices. None of this like 13,000 crap. But again, purely up to you. Your decision. Educate yourself. Look up reviews. Look up numbers. Do the math, guys. Do the math. As I'm giving you the tools, giving you what you need to know, so you can do these calculations. You can do these estimations. Okay? Alright, guys. Hopefully you got some good value from the video. Please comment, like, and subscribe, guys. Please comment if you guys have gotten yours, if you've gotten any shipping notices. Because, again, I ordered mine from BT Miners, and I'm still waiting on any kind of notice for shipping. Apparently, they haven't gotten any of theirs, other than a word that they're going to get them. But no idea when, unfortunately. So please comment, guys, if you've gotten yours. See what's up, right? So, again, thank you guys for watching, and I am out.